Hello team HM2010. I would like to give you a step-by-step for the week 1 assignment. To locate the assignments and the appropriate instructions, go to the assignment tab located on the left-hand side of your classroom screen above the My Grades section. Click onto the assignment tab and you will see a new window open where you are able to select the appropriate assignment. In this case, it'll be week 1 assignment. Once you click on the assignment tab, there's a link that indicates click here. So go ahead and click the blue Here button, or blue word. You'll find the instructions for the week 1 assignment where you will click and download and save the operating budget 11-11-14, and this will open the Excel spreadsheet. You will also click on the download and save the week 1 assignment sheet, which is the template used to complete your assignment. Once you've opened the Excel spreadsheet, you will find various tabs located at the bottom of the spreadsheet. You will find that you have operating budget A, budget B, budget C, and an example tab for budget D, and also your part 3 assignment here. So let's look at the week 1 assignment sheet and begin working on our assignments for part 1. You will calculate your current cost per patient using the following information that's given to you here. Remember that most of the numbers needed for the calculation are given to you, so all you need to do is follow directions and calculate your answers to get the correct answer. So line 1 is the total number of patients, and this number is given to you in the Part 1 instructions, which is 16,245. Line 2 is your total expenses, which is listed in the instructions, and it's 568,758. Line 3 is fixed expenses, which is provided to you, and it's 389,600. And then line 4 is your total patient expenses. So what you'll do with line 4, in order to get total patient expenses, you'll take the total expenses from line 2 and you'll subtract line 3 to get your answer. So for line 5 is the total revenue, and that's provided to you, and that's 1,090,800. So for line 6, that's your gross revenue per patient. That's line 5 divided by line 1, and I've provided those numbers to you, so all you have to do is calculate and get your answer. Line 6 is the total cost per patient. That's line 2 divided by line 1, and I've provided the numbers here for you, so all you have to do is calculate to get your answer. And then line 8 is the net revenue per patient. So once you get your answers for line 6 and line 7, you'll take that line 6 and subtract it from line 7 to get your answer for line 8. We've completed part 1 of the homework help. Let's start by looking at part 2. In part 2, you'll be looking at the operating budget A, and you're going to be comparing the months of January through June for all of those areas shaded in yellow on the operating budget A. So there's 2 things you're going to be looking for, and that is, were these months over or under budget and why? And as an office manager, what do you see that can be listed as issues in these months? So let's go ahead and look at operating budget A. As you can see, here's operating budget A, and one thing you want to keep in mind is just look at the numbers in those columns for January through June. So I just want to start out by giving you an example to help you to understand what you're looking at. And let's start out with a personal budget. So take, for example, you have an electricity bill that runs approximately $2,600 a year, and you multiply that by 12. That'll give you $216.67 a month. That's how much you pay every month for your electricity bill. But say in 2 of those months, your amount that you ended up paying was $367 instead of $216.67. So, did this cause you to go over budget or under budget? So think about it. So what I'd like to show you in the operating budget A is one area to look at is the accounting services. In the accounting services, we have some variances here from January through June. They didn't stay the same. The amounts didn't stay the same. So what could be going on here? As a manager, what are your thoughts? I mean, is this an accounting firm or consulting service that's providing services to your company? And if so, what are they billing you for? Are they billing you for the same thing or different things? And how can you manage this to keep it the same or at least around the same per month? Another example is marketing. In this budget, I see that marketing pretty much stays the same. And I mean, it goes under budget a couple of months. However, in the month of April, it's way over budget. It's $16,070. So what, as an office manager, can you do regarding marketing? Maybe you had to, hire some extra people and you had to market the job but you just got to really look at, do I want to use that much money for anything I have under my marketing budget so that I can keep things the same? So please feel free to use these examples in your answers. This completes our part 2 of the assignment, and let's move on to part 3. So in looking at part 3, we're going to be looking at budget C. In budget C, we're going to create a new budget, and it's going to be a 12-month budget, and it's going to show our clinic revenue that's expected to grow by 3%, the cost of expenses that's expected to increase 1.5%, and then a new roof that is going to cost $50,000. Just remember, our new roof, the cost was given to you. So just keep in mind, you can use Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, which is the tab that's on your operating budget, to answer your part 3, or you can submit on a Word document or WordPad document. So keep that in mind. First, let's go about calculating the things that we need to put in our budget before we actually create our budget. So one thing I wanted you to keep in mind is we need to find our total clinic revenue. And let's go to budget C, and I'm going to show you where that's found. If we look in budget C, our total clinic revenue is given to us. That's $402,220. The next thing we want to do is find the total expenses. And our total expenses here is $192,206.68. So if we go back to our homework sheet where we're going to do our calculations, as I've stated, our total clinic revenue here is $402,220, and that was given to us in budget C. And then we want to make sure that we calculate that 3% increase. So you're going to multiply that by 3%, and that's going to give you a new number, and you're going to add that number to the $402,220, and then that's going to give you your new total clinic revenue, and then you're going to divide that by 12, and that's going to give you the total amounts each month that's going to be the revenue that should be coming in. Now, another area is our expenses. In budget C, it gives us total expenses of $192,206.68. So we're going to multiply that by 1.5% so that we find out what our increase will be. We'll add that to the $192,206.68. That's going to give us our new total expenses, and then we're going to multiply that by 12, just like we did in the calculation for number 1 for our clinic revenue. So our monthly cost for the new roof is the number that was provided to us, which is $50,000. And we're going to multiply that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And that's going to give us the amount that we would pay for that new roof every month. So in the end result, we want to make sure that we're getting our net income or net loss. Just remember, if the revenue is greater than the expenses, there's a net income. If the revenue is lower than the expenses, there's a net loss. So I've given you an example here in the instructions, whereas if you had, for instance, revenue of $15,200 and expenses of $16,000, then there's a loss of $8,000. So let's go to our Part D homework. And this is pretty much how you're going to set up your Part 3 assignment. You're going to do your calculations here, for your total revenue, do your calculations here for your total expenses, and your calculations here for your new roof. You're going to, when you finish multiplying by 12 for these numbers, you're going to put these numbers in the appropriate column, appropriate cells here for each month. And then you're going to determine whether you have a net income or net loss. If you have any further questions regarding your assignment, please feel free to reach out to your faculty directly via email or phone. And I wish you luck in your assignment 1 for week 1. Thank you.